If you clicked on this video, you've probably heard this quote before. A jack of all trades, master of none. But maybe you haven't heard the rest. A jack of all trades is often better than a master of one. Let's take a step back and look at the origins of this quote. Back in pre-industrial society, versatility wasn't just seen as a trait, it was a necessity. Families often ran small businesses, and success meant wearing many different hats. For example, you might own a cattle farm and sell milk, but you'd also need to know a little bit about agriculture, sewing, mechanics, or even plumbing to keep things running. But the master of none part was tacked on, and everything started to change. With industrialization came the glorification of specialization. Corporations needed factory workers who were skilled at doing one very specific task over and over and over again. This mindset trickled down into society, and this was the death of the jack of all trades archetype. Instead of valuing versatility, society began to see it as unorganized or unfocused, because if you weren't good enough at one thing, what were you even worth? Specialization became the new standard. You no longer fixed your own pipes or stitched your own clothes. Now you called a plumber, a seamstress, a landscaper. The idea of doing many things yourself faded away, and with it, so did the respect for versatility. But here's the thing. I personally think we're starting to see the resurrection of the jack of all trades in modern times. There's been a surge of entrepreneurs, creatives, and freelancers who are proving that being versatile isn't just practical, it's powerful. They're leading a movement of innovation and bringing back the fulfillment that comes from doing work or craft that you genuinely care about. I think pursuing multiple hobbies or interests is fulfilling because of three big reasons. Mental stimulation. Engaging in diverse activities exercises different parts of your brain. Resilience. If one hobby or interest becomes frustrating or you reach a plateau, you have other things to lean on. Self-discovery. By exploring different interests, you discover more about who you are as a person. When I'm painting, I'm creative. When I'm learning about physics, I'm analytical. Each one feeds a different part of me. Have you ever found yourself mindlessly scrolling through social media or going to places just because everyone else is? It's easy to fall into this cycle of seeking entertainment and validation from external sources, but it's not always fulfilling, and it could even make you feel more lonely while you're in a crowd of people you perceive to be having fun and you're not. I feel like hobbies give you a true sense of fulfillment. You're not doing it for other people, and they become part of your identity. When you're loving what you're doing, you're never really gonna feel alone. I keep seeing headlines about this so-called loneliness epidemic. It's often called the male loneliness epidemic, but honestly, the premise applies to everyone. More people are spending less time interacting with others or forming meaningful connections, whether it's strengthening the bonds you already have with people you care about or building new relationships that will eventually matter. Think about it. When you rely on things like social media, going to the club, or waiting for others to entertain you, you're at the mercy of external factors. You're waiting for the world to give you something to do, for someone to validate your existence. But when you pursue hobbies, you take back the power. They're a space where you create, explore, grow, independent of everybody else's opinions. For me, it's painting. Whether it's 5 hours or 30 minutes, I just put on some music or an audiobook and I just lock in. I'm not thinking about work or socials or what anyone might think of what I'm working on. I don't want to say I'm at peace because that's kind of cliche and corny, but it's like a hangout session with myself, and I genuinely enjoy it. It's a moment of connection with myself. And sometimes hobbies can connect you to people in random ways. I remember sharing one of my designs on Insta, and I got a whole slew of messages from people who said it resonated with them or inspired them to create something, and that's really what I do it for. Hobbies can connect you and help you build connection with yourself and the world around you. Part of the reason I create and post the way I do is to inspire and find like-minded people. Sharing my thoughts is a way of owning my identity. By publishing, I'm reinforcing who I am. Even if it means reaching the wrong audience or encountering trolls, it's about saying, this is me, take it or leave it. And if painting or designing clothes isn't your thing, there are endless possibilities. Pottery classes, museums, skate parks, plant nurseries, whatever you're into, like, these hobbies can lead you to meeting people who share your interests. The key is to just start exploring. How many people actually know what they like versus what they've been told to like? It's kind of wild when you think about it. So much of what we consider our interests comes from what's trendy or what our community values rather than what genuinely resonates with us. It's like we've outsourced the decision-making process for our own happiness. But this is the thing, you don't need anyone's permission to explore your true interests. Give yourself space to try new things, even if it's not mainstream or doesn't fit societal norms. You might be shocked with what you come back liking. This is an example of like letting society tell me what to do. I, along with many other kids at a young age, started saying I don't like reading because for some reason it was lame. But that's not true at all. And right now I thoroughly enjoyed some of the classic literature books from the book list at school. 1984 and Flowers for Algernon being some of the best books I've ever read. See how nonsensical it is to let society or community dictate what you are interested in? It suppresses your creativity and happiness. I think one of the main differences between my life now and my life when I was severely depressed is that I have outlets and interests that I participate in to express myself. And it's not like life is all sunshine and rainbows now and that I never face strife. But now when something bad happens, I'm able to maintain a generally positive outlook on life in the long term. In the short term, I might be like, oh my god, I hate my life, like everything sucks. But I'm able to come back to normal happiness levels. And I think a big part of that is the fact that I do participate in more hobbies now. It occupies my brain. So yes, you can have multiple hobbies and you don't have to be the best at everything. You can master some things, enjoy others for fun, and still be whole. I know society likes to glorify like child prodigies who are like the best at one specific thing, and that's cool and all, but you don't just have to be a one-trick pony. Like, it's okay to explore other things, and it's also okay to explore other things where you're not like Mozart level in doing it. It's not about being perfect at every skill or hobby. It's about exploring what adds meaning to your life. I can personally say that having hobbies has added some sustenance to my life. Painting has made me more aware of the need to take mental breaks and forgive myself for mistakes. Designing clothes and creating content has given me a way to express my identity. And cooking connects me to culture, creativity, and sometimes just the tea of having a good meal. Each of these interests brings something different to my life. Together, they make me who I am. I'm not just one thing and I don't want to be. And honestly, the more I lean into being multifaceted, the happier and more fulfilled I feel. When you allow yourself to explore multiple passions, you're not diluting your identity, you're strengthening it. You're giving yourself permission to grow in all directions, not just one. And the growth brings depth, resilience, and a sense of purpose that can't be found by sticking to just one thing. So if you're someone who feels pulled in different directions by your interests, embrace it, lean into it. Be curious, become you. If you've ever felt like having too many interests makes you unfocused, I'm here to tell you it doesn't. It makes you you. So go and try that thing you've always been curious about. Pick up that hobby that you dropped years ago because people said it was lame. You don't have to be the best, just enjoy doing it. Love you. Bye.